What's happening, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Let me tell you, today you're in for an absolute banger. This guy hasn't had a haircut in 4 months. To start this haircut off, we're going to saturate the client's hair, make sure to make that nice and evenly wet so that when we come in and put our sections in, it makes it a lot easier. We're going to come straight in and part the hair through the centre, and I'm going to come down over the contour area and make a nice section just above the ear and keeping it in line. And we're now going to create a box section on the top of the head, getting a nice straight horizontal section on the contour. And we're now going to clip up that box section on the top of the head to clip away the hair that we're not going to cut just yet. And then we're going to come in a second and start taking some diagonal sections on the contour and creating some shape on the side using diagonal graduation. Let me talk to you a little bit about my thought process going into this haircut. So I looked at my client, he has quite a round head, so I want to create something square on top so that it really kind of brings out his face shape and it really complements his face. So using this graduation on the side, it will allow me to keep a bit more weight through the contour, which ultimately will counteract the roundness of his face. And you need to kind of learn these shapes. So if they have a quite square face, you want to create something a little bit more looser and round, just so it complements the face a bit more. We're now going to come in and follow that graduation we created, and we're just going to follow that into the crown area, keeping it quite triangular in shape, keeping it a little bit longer towards the top, because in a minute when we move on to the top, you'll see that I'll take the guide actually from the crown when connecting it in. Right, so here we're now moving on to the top. We're going to set in a profile section straight down the centre of the head. And then we're going to pull up starting from the back and take, as I said earlier, we're going to take our guide from the crown, as you'll see. Look, you can see I'm picking up the hair from the back. And we're now going to take a little bit of that hair from the crown and follow that round. We're going to create a round shape on top. I know I just said keeping it square on the sides, but on top we're going to make it a little bit rounder because he's got thicker hair. Keeping that a little bit rounder will remove some of that weight that can build up towards the front. He likes to wear his hair quite messy at the front, so having too much weight will just look a bit too bulky through that area. As you can see right there, it's a good angle. You can see that I'm pulling the front of that hair almost 90 degrees to the head shape, so it stays round vertically, but actually horizontally the shape is square. So we're going to take each new section and push it into this previous section so that it counteracts the roundness of the head when working horizontally. Let me explain to you a little bit about when I say vertically and horizontally. The vertical axis is from the lower nape area of your head to the frontal area of your forehead, and horizontal areas from each ear to ear, and that is what I mean by horizontal. And then vertical is from the forehead to the back of your nape. Just clearing it up a little bit. We're now coming in and cross-checking. So all we're doing here is taking horizontal sections the opposite way in which we cut at first, and we're just going to check that there's no loose hairs hanging over. We're now taking a triangular diagonal section on the top and just connecting that top hair into the graduation created on the sides, so there's no hair overhanging. I'm now going to come in and blow dry the hair just to dry it so that when we use our clippers the hair isn't wet, because otherwise the hair will get caught in the clippers, I'm just using my hands and a little brush just to manipulate the hair. We're now going to come in with a diffuser just to dry it a bit more naturally and stop that frizziness happening. We're now coming in with number 3 to remove all that bulk. And the reason we cut the top first is now you can see when we use that 3, it just effortlessly glides straight into that graduation which we started with. And then we're just going to follow up later just to soften up a little bit more with scissor over comb to refine it. But did just mirror how satisfying is it when you get a client like hair length like this and you come in and chop all them sides off. It's so satisfying. You see him in a second, we leave the back and he has a little mullet going on. Comment down below if you think I should have kept the mullet, because as you know, mullets are coming into fashion now, and it's crazy how fashions change. How much longer do you think skin fades are going to be the go-to haircut? Right, we're now coming in and setting in our bald guideline. We're using the Babyliss FX trimmer, and we're just going to keep that in contour of the head shape, dipping it down slightly towards the back. We're now going to come in and use the Babyliss fill shaver. We're going to get that bottom of the hair right down to razor bald. This really does allow us to create a bit more contrast when doing the fade, because you have that whiteness of the bald skin. We're now going to come in with the 2 guard closed, and we're just going to further remove the bulk a little bit more so that it's easier to kind of fade into, just under that 3 in which we started off. And then after that we're going to come in with a 0.5 like here, and we're going to set in about half an inch to an inch guideline, keeping it as consistent as possible and kind of flicking out as you go. And I had someone comment my last video talking about what sort of pressures and angles you hold the clipper at. You kind of don't want to press too hard with the clipper, let the clipper do the work. And when setting in the 0.5 guideline, I find that I keep the clipper with you want to aim for the clipper blade to stay flat on the client's head. I use the taper blade, which has already got a slight curve in it, so you don't need to kind of emphasize the flick too much. Just let the clipper do the work, and through time you'll get used to it, but don't press too hard because you want to keep that client comfortable the whole time. I kind of spoke over there, we just slowly descended and removed that bottom line by middle closed lever, so we went open, mid, closed, and that kind of just descends and removes that bottom line. And then we followed that up by using the 1.5 guard, just under the 2 guard which we used before. We're now coming with the 1 guard open, just under that 1.5 guard which we used. And then we're going to come in and close that lever, and it's going to be a true 1. But like I just said, we're going to do open, mid, close, just to soften that middle line. While remembering this won't take out the middle line completely, we'll have to follow that with the 0.5 guard afterwards, just this will soften it. Right, like I was just saying, we're now going to come in with the 0.5 guard, just to kind of bring this whole fade together. But remembering this is our foundation. We're going to come back in a little while after we've done the other side, and we're going to detail. But I do like to do a little bit of detail work while I'm here. But we're now going to come in and do the shape up. We're going to come straight in and put in that vertical bar using our Babyliss FX trimmers. Boy, let me tell you, these things are hitters. Look how sharp that line up's coming out. Absolutely crispy. Right, we're going to come in and do that C-cut. We're going to just put in the vertical bar and meet them together, and then use the corners, kind of hook it round, getting that nice C-cut. We're now going to come in and refine that kind of connection point between the clipper work and the scissor work on top, using scissor over comb. And we want to make sure that we keep a static blade when doing this. So what I mean by that, and you see my man shuffling in the background, we like to keep the bottom blade still, and then only move the top blade with our thumb. We're now coming in and doing a little bit of detail work just before I moved into the other side. And when doing detail work, it's different with every client. You may have to use different guards to what I use, but just be visual with it and take out the dark spots in which you see. We're now coming in and going on to the other side. It's going to be the exact same steps, so I'm going to let you follow along, and I'll see you guys back in a little bit. I'm recording with a new camera now and a new lens. Comment down below if you like what you see, if you prefer this camera or the one that I was recording before. Let me know what you think. And guys, if you like any tools that you see in this video, be sure to check down in the description, I will link them below. Guys, you can check me out on TikTok now, it's Timbracehair, same as my YouTube and my Instagram. And be sure to subscribe. I'm getting a lot of love recently, and I'm going to absolutely smash it this year, so make sure you subscribe. Guys, if you really can, smash that subscribe button. Over 50% of you aren't subscribed, and if you can, please watch to the end of the video and share it around. It really does help me out. It helps the YouTube algorithm share my video around. Right, we're now moving into the back. We're going to come straight in with the 1.5 guard open, just to remove that bulk as the hair is thicker in the back. We're now going to come in and set in our 0.5 guideline, keeping it about a little bit thicker in the back, keeping it about 1 inch in width. And then again, we're going to go open, mid, closed, and kind of descend and soften that lower line. Sorry, I need to not wear a hat when I next record a video because it does get in the way. I do apologise for that. As you can see, we've just removed that bottom line, and we're just going to open and close that lever as we work our way around. We're now going to come with the 1 guard open, just under where we used that 1.5 guard. And I quickly just there change to that, close that lever just to soften that middle line. But guys, remember again, this will not take out that middle line. As you see, we're going to have to come back in with the 0.5 guard and soften that up even more. And if that doesn't take out completely, don't be afraid to go back to your clipper open. This is really where you detail on the back and have the 2 connection points and connect it in all smoothly. Oi oi! Look, that's a nice angle. Look at that fade coming together, but as you can see guys, we're still coming back and detailing. As I say, that was just our foundation steps we put in. We're now going to come back in and really detail the areas which need to be improved. But like I said earlier, detailing is different for every haircut. You use different guards, whatever you need, so I can't give you a set guard system to use on detailing. It's really quite visual. We're now using scissor over comb, and we're just going to come a little bit with the thinning scissors just to kind of soften that ridge up a little bit more. But beware not to press too hard because you can ruin your shape. Again guys, look, we're coming back in and detailing further more. We're now coming in and using the cutthroat just to sharpen up that hairline. Guys, remember to pull the skin in the opposite direction so that it removes any chance of nicking the client, and keeping the blade at a 45-degree angle. I like to add a little bit of talcum powder. It does also help the blades glide, and also allows to create a nice ash line. We're adding a bit of powder here just to give the hair some volume. And look at that shape. Look, it suits his head shape so nicely. Bit of weight around the contour area really does help, keeping them contours heavy and creating that nice square shape on top.
Another one?
Jesus, look what he came in looking like. Wow. Here's the final look, guys. If you guys have enjoyed today's video, please smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, comment down below what you want to see next, and I'll see you soon. Peace.